why has there been so much turnover here?
Well, you're really seeing a lot of retailers struggling, and there's been sort of a sea change within the industry where you're moving away from the so-called merchant princes of yesteryear. These people who were running companies who would determine everything at the company. Mike Jeffries comes to mind. They're still looking for his replacement at Abercrombie & Fitch. That company comes out with earnings tomorrow. But it's been a lot of other companies, too. Target, Gap, the other two so-called A's, American Eagle and Aeropostale Express, Justice, which is now owned by Ascina, Francesca. So there's been a very long list of these companies that have gotten new CEOs in the past year or so.
Okay, so who is likely, under new management, Julie, who's most likely to see a good turnaround?
Well, this is the question I wanted to answer. You know, where will we see these new CEOs actually make a difference? And where are the problems of these retailers too deep that they will not?
Right.
So Target and Gap are probably the two most cited, where the new leaders are already starting to make some changes and potentially will turn things around. At Target, Brian Cornell is the new CEO. He, of course, closed the Sears Canada business. He's making moves to do other things. And then Art Peck over at Gap. And he's notable here because he came from the web side. He was the head of the digital business and the so-called innovation business within Gap. So he's sort of unique in that capacity. And folks I talked to sort of cited that trend within retail, not necessarily promoting these so-called merchants, but looking to the web, looking to other types of businesses for future leaders.
Anybody out there who's just whose problems are just too big to solve?
You know, there weren't so many that were listed on that side. If it's anyone, it's JCPenney. I talked to Les Berglass, who's an executive search expert. He said there are two things that make a retail brand unsalvageable. One of them is if the cash is not there, the financial status is just in too much trouble. And the other is if it's been taken so-called down market in its distribution, if you've devalued the brand too much. And most of these don't fall into those categories.
I mean, I saw a recent print ad campaign for JCPenney, and I thought it was actually pretty good. So,
well, if you can get Betty into JCPenney.
Right, I'll turn it around. Julie Hyman, thank you so much. Our senior markets correspondent on the retailers.